right, everybody, welcome back. Monday morning here in the shop again. Seems like I make this Monday morning a little normal thing going forward so we can work on the Indian Larry tribute Panhead. Um, Mondays is my tattoo appointment day, usually. Shop's closed, um, but the tattoo shop doesn't open until noon. So I'm going to jump in here a few hours. Shop's right down the street from our shop. So I'm going to try and get in here a few hours each Monday morning and work on this panhead build. I like doing these kinds of things when nobody else is around. Lets me focus, especially when I'm doing um, custom work and manual machining parts and stuff like that. A lot of times it's good to have no other distractions. So today's agenda is to start on the steering stabilizer. Larry always seemed to run the telescopic steering dampener. Um, Maybe not always, but on a few of his bikes. So we thought we'd add that on. Um, so I got a Daytona steering dampener in. Problem is, all the bracketry they make for these is to clamp on round hydraulic telescopic forks, and we have a springer. So um, to make matters worse, the springer's already chrome, and we want to keep the chrome. So I need to make a clamp-on mount to the rear springer leg, and then also just machine up a bung to weld to the frame. That's easy. The rear leg shape on the fork is kind of bizarre, um, and so it's going to be a little bit tricky. I have an idea of how we're going to do it, and we'll see. We're going to try and draw up a little pattern and then take it from there. But first things first, we're going to get the bung machine so we can mount the steering damper on the frame and then figure out exactly how we want to lay out the clamp-on mount. So anyway, I kind of doubt we'll get the whole mount done today, so this may be part one. But we'll see how it goes. All right, so this is our steering damper. It's adjustable, made by Daytona. Just a standard telescopic steering damper, So nothing too fancy there. Heim joint end on this mount. So what'll end up happening is it's going to mount on the frame here and then onto the front fork, or the rear leg of the front fork here, which is going to require a clamp on mount so we don't screw the chrome up. So my plan is to go ahead and get a bung machined for this clamp here. We'll mount this clamp on the frame, and then we'll be able to look at the clamp on mount. They provide this nice clamp-on mount when you buy it, but it's for a round, regular telescopic fork leg, and it just doesn't fit good on here. So anyway, nice clamp, just doesn't work for what we need. All right, so first things first, we're going to do this mounting bung. So I'm going to pull this Heim joint out of here. Got a piece of cold rolled round bar. And we want to have at least enough to screw the Heim joint all the way in. So I'll make a mark right here. That'll let us screw that in and also give us enough room for a jam nut. We're going to go ahead and pop this in the lathe, drill it, tap it. I'm going to cut this on a little bit of a taper just because this small diameter Heim joint in the large round bar looks silly. The reason I'm starting with this thicker round bar is because our frame diameter. Check that here with our vernier. We got just over 1 inch, inch and a 1/16 which is probably due to paint. So we'll go ahead and cope this to fit on there. So that's why we're going to start with this large, taper it down just to make it look cosmetically pleasing. All right, so we got our cope all nice and deburred. We're gonna go ahead and throw this in the lathe here. I give that little deep cut at the end. It gives somewhere for the bandsaw to follow, so we can go ahead and get this cut off. So we got our piece cut off. We're gonna face it off. All right, so we got our heim joint here, and we need to drill our mounting bung and tap it. So we got to figure out what size this is. So we're under 325, which would be 5/16. So that indicates to me it's probably metric. So it looks like we're 787. So I'm gonna guess it's 8mm. So I grab my 8mm tap, 8x1.25, and I line my threads up, and I can see that we're correct. Now you can use a thread pitch gauge also. I don't know if I have a metric one handy right here. Yeah, this is SAE. But anyway, if you have a tap set, most of the tap sets come with these. They're little thread pitch gauges, and so like if it was 5/16, it would either be 5/16 18, which clearly it's not, or 5/16 24. That's the national fine and national coarse. 18 is too coarse. 24 is too fine. So another indication that we're dealing with something metric. So once we do that, I have these tap and drill charts, which I downloaded years ago off the internet and laminated, and I just keep them magneted to the back of the lathe here. Here's our metric chart, 8x1.25. We slide over. We need a letter H drill bit. So I still haven't got my drill index mounted yet. I actually just bought a brand new set of bits, so they're on the way. And once that gets here, I'm going to get these all. I'm going to get a box somehow mounted to this wall behind the lathe here. it filled up a lot quicker than I thought it was going to with all the stuff we have, but I'm trying to get everything that we use for the mill and the lathe organized into this area. So I'm not sure how that's going to work out. We might modify some stuff. Thinking about building another wall in front of the compressor here that we could somehow make mobile, so we have a side wall. I don't know. This shop just gets tighter and tighter every year. We get more and more equipment, you know, so anyway, not sure how that's going to go, but I don't know that you even care about how I mount my drill bits. So I'm going to go ahead and get this hole drilled. Interruption in the video here. I want to tell you about how to enter to win. As I said in a couple previous videos, we're going to pop this information in the middle of all of our videos here and there, just to let people know how to enter, and it'll get people to watch the videos, as you got to watch and find where the information is. So it's going to be real simple. You don't have to buy anything, doesn't cost you anything, you just need to send an email. I'm going to try to get the email on the screen here. I'm not a super tech whiz, so we'll see how that goes, but the email address is pretty straightforward. It's gaddysgaragegiveaway@gmail.com. So all you have to do, send one email. In the email, subject line, giveaway, and in the body of the email, your name, address, telephone number. That's it. You don't actually even need to give your whole address if you don't want. Just let's scratch the address. Let's give your name, your city and state, and a contact phone number. We're not going to sell the phone numbers. No one will ever have them but me, so don't worry about that. You're not going to get sales calls. I hate sales calls as much as everybody else. But we do need a way to get a hold of you if you win. So, again, name, city and state, telephone number. You do need to be a subscriber to the channel to win also. So if you're seeing this and you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button and then send the information on over. So we look forward to everybody entering, and we're really excited to give away this bike. Now back to the video. All right, so the last thing I want to do is cut a taper on this now. I'm going to go grab, I think I have an 8mm flange nut, which we'll use as the jam nut on here, and we'll use the flange as the dimension we want to turn this down to, so I'm going to grab that. Alright, so there we have it. Nice tapered mounting boss. Just need to sand it up a little bit and then we'll weld it to the frame. Alright, so we got our piece made here. Gonna grab the flap wheel, clean the paint off the frame, and we'll put a couple quick MIG tacks there. We'll end up finish welding it with the TIG welder when we get the frame broken down. But I don't want to drag all that over here right now, so a couple quick MIG tacks will do fine. Alright, so we got that tacked on. It's loose enough where we could still break it off if we needed to and readjust. Quick side note, I'm sure you guys notice I never work with gloves. I've tried all kinds of gloves. If anybody has any work fabrication gloves that they enjoy using, let me know what they are. I haven't found any I like. I just cut my damn finger open. And I would really prefer to use gloves, but I just can't ever find any that give me the dexterity in my hands that I need to work. So, if you got something you like, let me know, please. Alright, so now we're going to get into the tricky part, is figuring out exactly how we want this to attach. Alright guys, so for some reason I just wasn't seeing how this dampener should hook up, and I was just looking at it the complete wrong way, and I wasted, I don't know, an hour and a half or 2 hours messing around with trying to figure out how to make a bolt-on bracket or bolting it to the outside of the fork leg. I don't know, I was just overthinking it, I guess. Like I said earlier on, I've never put one of these on a Springer fork, and for some reason I was just massively overcomplicating it, trying to make a big pattern that would fit on this oddly shaped fork leg with an undercut radius that really you can't make a bolt-on part for because there's no way to lock it in. And anyway, point being, I just wasted a bunch of time and ended up going with what really should have been the most obvious, simple way to do it. We drilled into what would be the bottom triple tree inboard of the rear leg and bolted the steering damper rod to that. It just made a ton more sense. I couldn't tell you why I didn't think of that from the get-go. Could have made this a super quick and easy install, but anyway, we eventually got there. And sometimes that's just the way it goes. You have one thing in your head and you kind of get fixated on it. But you find the simple, easy way in the end. All right, so we got the bottom. I'm gonna break these tacks loose so that we can All right, well, we got the steering damper mounted. It kicked my ass a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. I've never done a steering damper on a Springer before, so it was a little bit different. I completely changed the way I thought I would mount it and ended up mounting it off what would be the bottom triple tree, and it's working nice. We got a nice turning radius, and that's it. Sometimes things don't go how you expect, so just always press on. Sometimes you got to walk away. I almost walked away, and then I said, well, let me try one more thing. But don't get discouraged. It's easy to do. Trust me, I know. All right, guys, that's a wrap for today. I did not get done even remotely what I wanted to. I did get the steering damper mounted, but man, it kicked my ass. Never done a steering damper on a Springer. And I don't know, just the plan I had, which I thought was going to be nice and simple, number one, didn't work at all and wasn't simple. And anyway, the way it mounted is stupid simple. And I think I was just really overthinking it. So we did get it done. I got a scoot and get to my tattoo appointment. And we'll try and get on here during the week with something fun. If not, we will see you guys on Saturday. As always, we appreciate you being here, and we hope to see you next time at Gaddy's Garage.